Hello.
Hello.
Hello, buddy. You alright?
I'm sorry?
You okay? Hello.
Yeah, sure. Hello.
Hello, buddy. You alright? 1 second. Sorry, my stream's gone mental. There we go. Okay, cool. So, you okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Making sure everything's looking good and working properly.
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Awesome. Okay. So, you're Silver Terran playing like golds, are you? Or you're gold now, aren't you? That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. So, which replay would you like to look at first?
Well, let's get the TVP maybe.
Okay. Just opening up a notepad as well, so I can jot some stuff down while I'm talking. Cool. So it's the TVP against a guy called Mad Raven, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So is there anything you can tell me about this game before we start? Like, so just pause it as soon as you open the game, and then is there anything you can tell me about the game, what you thought was happening, or that sort of thing?
Well, if I remember correctly, it was I went for a 1-1-1.
Okay.
And there was a time that I should have attacked, but I don't know, I delayed it for no reason.
Okay.
And my tank placement was just so awful this game.
Okay. So what do you want to come away from this replay with? Like, what kind of knowledge would you like?
Probably my army positioning.
Okay.
And maybe some attack timings or something.
That's no problem. So basically, okay, we'll hit play and then we'll start chatting. So 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. So basically, if you're going to go for a 1-1-1, you need to hit a very, very solid timing, and you also need to harass as well before you start.
Okay.
Do you do the 1-1-1 with Banshees, or?
Yep.
Okay. So basically,
usually I push out with 4 tanks.
Yep.
And it's 3 or 4 Banshees. Kind of depends.
Okay, that's a little bit too much, I think. I think you're delaying it too much. You should probably go with like 3 tanks and 2 Banshees.
Oh.
Because like the earlier it hits, the more effective it is. The later it hits, like basically you're going to get stopped a lot easier. Because as soon as he gets Immortals out, the 1-1-1 kind of like loses a lot of its power. Obviously, you can delay it, like, if you've managed to, like, delay his Robotech or whatever, that's fine. But, I would definitely hit a little bit earlier than you are.
Yeah, usually I was hitting earlier, but, you know, no matter how many mistakes I made, it always worked. I mean, it's gold, so...
Yeah, well, yeah. The 1-1-1's a really, really strong build. Okay, so... do you harass with the Banshees at all, or do you just kind of like build up an army?
It kind of depends on how I macro.
Okay.
But sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I'm not sure about this game.
In there with those Banshees. What that does is obviously it kills probes, but it also like delays his Robotech, so he has to get an observer rather than an immortal. So I'm just noting stuff down as we go. So everything looks pretty good so far. You scouted him, you see he's going either a 1-gate expand. Looks like a 1-gate expand to me. Probably wrong, Will.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to read it still.
It's really hard to read gold players in general, like... it's really hard to read anyone in general sometimes. Like, even Masters players kind of, like, do some strange shit. And it's really hard to kind of work out what's going on.
Yeah, well, I try, like, when I'm scouting, I try to look if he's expanding or if that's a 4-gate. That's all I can read.
Okay, well, that's absolutely fine.
sometimes they just grab like double gas at 16, so I assume it's either like Stargate or Dark Templars, but all they go for is like Free-Gate Robo.
Free-Gate Robo is probably the most standard safe build in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, to be honest. That's the one I always open up if I'm going PvT, is a Free-Gate Robo.
Yeah, but you don't need so much gas early.
It depends what kind of Free-Gate Robo you're going for. If you're going for like the Immortal Sentry Free-Gate Robo, if you're going for like the Warp Prism one, it's really, it just depends really. Okay, this is starting to look more and more like a 4-gate to me. So you're doing pretty well. Your SCV production's good. Reactor, Tech Lab, okay.
I actually watched one video of 111.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Masters dude.
Yeah, your starport's a little bit late. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
don't look
if we
at
just
that.
pause it now.
Okay.
Basically, as soon as this factory's done, you want the starport done. Okay?
Okay.
Simple as that. That's all I need to say is, like, as soon as this factory's done, you need the starport done. This is also delaying your attack, which is making it, like, basically every second that you don't attack is another second that the 111 becomes less effective.
Yeah, I usually go for a starport right away, but
Yeah.
this game is... I chose the game that I make very many mistakes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just try and get, like, right now you've got like an extra 60 gas plus these two add-ons, which is like what, another, basically you're floating about 120 gas extra that you don't need to be floating. Like that extra gas could have been a starport, like, 45 seconds earlier. And that's a long time if you're going for like a rush. Okay, so
All right.
we're gonna hit play again in 3, 2, 1, go. So he does a little stalker pressure, it's annoying, blah blah blah, you can't really do much. Okay. So it's like this build by him makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like a 2-gate chronode warp gate expand, like just 0 sense at all. And the fact that he's moving out with like a zealot, a stalker, and a sentry makes no sense either. Because Marines will just like kill that straight away. So Tech Lab going on your starport, that's fine. Tanks. You want to try and keep a constant Marine production as well if you can. Just to kind of like bolster the ranks, basically. Just keep like 2 Marines or at least 1 Marine coming at any one point, okay?
Alright. Well, this game I was prioritizing tanks, because it looked to me like an early aggression, like
Yeah.
he pushed out with 3 units.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, but basically the, like, kind of meat of your army is going to be Marines. And if you're lacking that kind of meat shield, then your tanks are going to get obliterated, basically.
Yeah, you'll see that happen in this game.
Yeah, exactly. So, sorry, I'm just making a quick few notes. Okay, so this makes it look like a 1-1-1 as well. What I generally do is just like put some Marines on this low ground here, like just in front of your like big natural ramp. So it looks like you're expanding and it forces him to scout. But that's just like a thing I like to do, just to make it not look like a 1-1-1.
Okay.
You can even put a bunker down as well, just to make it even more look like less like a 1-1-1. Sorry.
I don't think they're used to that build in these leagues.
No, I know, but it's just something to practice, just to really, like, basically these leagues kind of will do something along the lines of, okay, he's expanding, that means I can make probes or whatever. Like, but if they see you on one base, they go crazy with units. So you scan, you see immortals coming up. Like, right now, the 111 should be, like, moving out. Like, you should be, like, right at his front door about now. With siege mode, and obviously... Yeah, you're just waiting far too long for this. It's the fact that you've got, like, 16 Marines there, like, a couple more on the way. You've got, like, 20 Marines, like, 5 tanks and 3 Banshees, and you're just kind of sitting there with them. Like... This is becoming less and less effective the longer you leave it. And I'd also use those Banshees a little bit better. Like, once 1 or 2 come out, just go attack. Like, just go pick off probes, pick off pylons, you know. Pick off, you know, stray immortals or whatever. Like, anything you can. Like, these Banshees can be so effective early on. Especially with Cloak, because if he doesn't have an observer, like, back at home... then he loses a ton of probes.
Okay.
So, just make a quick note.
And here, obviously, I wasn't looking at my army.
No,
I
that's
was
never
macroing
good.
in my base and couldn't siege my tanks, and that's what happens.
Yeah, and then you just got rolled. Oh, you've done okay, I guess. Like, but yeah, you've lost this game now. Because he is 19 probes ahead of you. He's got better tech. He's got more production. So yeah, you lose this game now. Okay, we can pretty much stop it there, unless there's anything you want me to see further on.
No, that's everything, I think.
Okay, so let's just stop it here. Right, just gonna kind of run through a few things. Basically, you want the 111 to hit about 10 minutes. Any later than that, it starts to become, like, really not effective.
Okay.
So, just making a few more notes. You want, like, the first kind of Banshee that pops out, you want to rally it to, like, the back of his main. And then the second Banshee, rally it to the back of his natural. And then basically, all you have to do is poke in one side, kill a few probes, poke in the other side, kill a few probes, you know, and then cloaks up. So you cloak, you poke in, you poke in, you poke in. Basically, if you can kill like 10 or 11 probes, you will win the game. Like, because one, it costs him money, obviously, to remake the probe.
Yep.
2, he's losing probes. And 3, he's panicking. And anybody that panics will generally be less effective against a rush. That's why, like, you know, the bunker rush against Zergs and stuff, that's why that works so well. Because Zergs will panic.
Alright.
Okay, so... 1, push out earlier. 2, you need to make use of the Banshees. And 3, probably, you know, make constant Marines... to shield. And also I would not use scans, I would use mules, like, because the extra minerals will really help you. Like, you don't really need to see what the Protoss is doing because you're doing a one base rush that is pretty much effective against any composition. So
yeah, but I was worrying about Dark Templars.
okay, I suppose that's a legitimate worry, but again, I would, rather than scan his base, I just make sure you've got a wall, and then just scan the Dark Templar.
Okay.
But you can, I mean, if you're, you know, seriously worried about Dark Templar, then scan his base. But I prefer to use the mules and just, like, you know, a bit of game kind of feel that's going on. But the Banshee should give you all the scouting information you need
Right.
when you're picking off probes, etc. So that's another reason, like, you don't have to use scans. It's because the Banshees will actually help you a lot. Try to think if there's anything else. No, I think if you kind of do those... I've got like 7 things noted down, which I'll send to you after the game.
Sure.
But if you kind of use those 7 things, like, they're really simple to do. and I think it will help this build a lot and your TVP in general.
All right.
Cool. Okay, well, let's move on to the next game.
Sure.
Which one would you like to look at?
Wait a sec, I'm loading still. Well, I don't really care. Maybe T5?
Sorry, which one? T5.
A TVT with Darag.
Okay, let's load that one up. Okay, we'll pause the game. Which one are you? There we go. You're the Red Terran. Cool. So, just let me know when you're ready.
Alright, I am.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, hit play, go. Okay. So what's your general kind of TVT game?
I'm not sure about this game, but generally I go 1 Rex expand, and then add 2 more, then double gas, factory, and starport.
Okay. Sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah, anytime versus if they go mass marines as well, I will win.
Okay.
No matter what they do. But if they go for tanks, 100% loss for me.
Okay. The basis of TVT is you can either match it or you can go around it. So basically, like, you'll either see like bio versus mech, mech versus mech, or bio versus bio. That's like basically what you see, because what happens is, like, if one player decides to go mech, you can either decide to go mech as well, or you can decide to like go pure bio and drop everywhere, basically. So it's either about like matching or like going around. It's as simple as that. So if you're like, basically if you've spent the first like 10 minutes of the game building up a bio army and he's gone mech, there's not much chance of you switching into mech and beating him on a one-on-one fight unless he does something really, really stupid. So your best bet is to like really go for bio then, like get your upgrades, you know, get your drops, that sort of thing. So like I wouldn't generally tech switch in a TVT. I just stick to what you're good at, basically.
Okay, well, the only problem I have in TVT is if I go pure marines and they go for like mech, like they have so many tanks and I have no idea how to engage it.
Well, the thing about that is you don't engage. Like, there is no way pure marine can beat mech. Absolutely no way. The only way it can win is if you just drop everywhere. Like, you need to literally be dropping, like, 2 drops in the main, 1 in the natural, you know, 1 at the third, you know, 1 at the front. Just need to be dropping everywhere. And eventually what happens is you kill off all his production, and then you can engage his army. But generally, I wouldn't recommend going pure marine in TVT. I'd go marine tank for that kind of safety net, or even marine marauder. But I definitely wouldn't recommend pure marine.
Okay.
Marine marauder is pretty good against marine tank, by the way, as long as you're dropping everywhere and splitting your army properly.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, because I have no idea how to split, and my multitasking sucks for drops. So.
Okay. Well, there's a really easy method of like dropping. Like, it's not as good as obviously watching the drop, but all you have to do is literally like hold shift, click somewhere, and then click D, and then click on the ground, basically, and then medevac will do everything itself.
No, doesn't sound that hard.
No, you literally just queue up a drop, like using shift commands, and then you can kind of concentrate on your main army. It's obviously not as effective as you know, watching the drop and, you know, microing every single bloody unit, but, you know, barely any, I don't know anyone that's not Korean that can do that. So it's looking pretty standard so far. Your opponent's deciding to tech while you're deciding to expand. It's pretty standard. So you send Lone Marine out to scout, that's good. Tank plays good. It's so hard to decide what to do in a TVT.
Yeah, I hate this matchup.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do. It's the only reason like most of my friends don't play Terran is because they hate TVT so much.
Yeah, that's the reason I wanted to learn Protoss, but obviously it's not that good.
So it looks like, yeah, 3 racks, stim timing. No, combat shift, okay.
I think Combat Shield beats Steam early on, doesn't it?
In TVT, yeah. Because if your Marines can last longer than his, you'll probably win the fight. So his build's like completely messed up. I don't think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's still gonna win.
So right now you've got a massive supply lead. You've also got a massive income lead. So if he's not attacking, I just whack down like racks and factories everywhere. Like if he's not attacking you and you've got an expansion up, then just start putting down barracks. You also want to like leave a Marine or two just on the edge of your base, just so you can see shit like this happening. Because this drop doesn't have to do any damage if you can see it coming. So you clear that up. And then he runs away. Okay. He didn't take too much damage, but again, I just like kind of leave Marines about. So you're +1. I'd also, if you've expanded and you're going like a Marine heavy build, I'd get +1/+1. So I'd go double engineering bay.
Okay. Well, usually the resource timing is awesome. Like my tech lab finishes right when I have 100 gas.
Yeah.
So I got combat shield right away, but this drop completely messed up my macro.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Again, like that can just be solved by like leaving a Marine or two just patrolling around the edge of your base, so you can see a drop coming. So then it's like 100% less effective, basically. You just move your Marines to intercept, and you know you don't have to lose anything. You want to start looking at timings as well. Like, I don't mean like I have to attack at like 10 minutes 45 seconds. I just mean like this, for example, this +1 upgrade ends in 60 seconds. So I'd be like moving across the map right now with Marines. So basically when your Marines hit his base, your +1's done and you've got an upgrade lead. And that can be absolutely massive in mirror matchups. Like,
yeah, well, this build's supposed to get stim +1 and 2 medevacs at the same time.
Right, okay.
But this drop, I didn't even start stim yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, I realized that later.
Yeah, that's a shame because, like for example, if you'd have attacked just as +1 is finishing, like you should be at his base right now. He has 1 tank and 14 Marines, and 7 of those Marines are loaded into. Sorry, 8 of those Marines are loaded into a medevac. So right now at home, he has 4 Marines in a bunker, a tank, and 2 Marines. And if you're at his door right now with 45 Marines, you win.
Yeah, that's kind of painful to watch.
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is you're. Sorry, if you pause the game. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, have you paused the game, sorry?
What do you mean?
Like, have you paused the game?
No, I don't think so.
Alright,
like, it's running smoothly for me.
No, I mean, can you pause the game and go back to like 11 minutes?
Yeah, sorry, God.
That's okay. Break down the communication, I think.
Alright, I'm at 11.
Okay. So basically right now, if you're knocking on his door, you
Yep.
probably win, as long as you don't lose too much shit to that tank. At the very least, you take out, like, 8 SCVs, 4 mules and a command center, and you're looking a lot better. What you're doing is you're massing up a bunch of, like, low-tier units, aka Marines,
Yep.
but then not using them till late game. So basically what you're doing is, like, you're gonna go, I'm gonna be really, really strong in the early game with all these really strong early game units, but then you're not using them till the late game. And what that's doing is it's making you, like, really safe early game, but it's not doing any damage to him. So while you're, like, massing up this tier 1 unit that's going to be really, really good early mid game, he's making, you know, tanks, he's making medevacs, he's making, you know, his meat of his army, basically, while you're sitting on a tier 1 unit. And I know Marines are really good, and I know there's been a lot of discussion about how fucking overpowered Marines are, but we're not getting to that. But against a teched Terran army, Marines melt. Like, tanks will literally melt Marines. So what you're doing is you're, like, building a bunch of, like, really strong units. They're really, really strong until he gets tanks. So if you're not stopping him getting tanks, or delaying him getting tanks, or just killing him really early, you're putting yourself behind. Like, 5 minutes ago, you're in a great position. Even now, you're in a very, very good position, but you need to be, if you're massing Marines early on, you need to be using them.
Yeah, I have no idea why I don't push out this game, because usually, like, 11 minutes I'm at his base.
Yeah.
This game I didn't.
Yeah,
No
it's
idea.
probably just because of that drop. It probably just, like, really messed you up. Like, you're really afraid of drops now. So you don't want to move out, basically?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so, what can we talk about? So yeah, basically what you want to do is look for timings. Like, for example, say, like, 2 minutes ago you started stim. Like, you want to be at the base as stim finishes, that sort of thing. Or if you've started +1, you want to be at the base as +1 finishes. So you've got that little bit of advantage. Like, and it also helps you, like, be aggressive with units as well. Because most people will just, like, kind of go, oh, I'll just go attack. You know, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You don't know why, you don't know why it works, you don't know why it doesn't. But if you give yourself a goal, like, for example, you know, +1 is just finishing, I should be at his front door just as +1 finishes. And although his +1 is, like, exactly the same time as yours, you know, it will still give you an advantage, like, in most games.
I have double his supply,
Yep.
and I'm sitting at my base.
Yep.
My god.
Yep. Exactly. So basically, if you push out right now, like, if you'd followed that kind of timing of the +1 finishing, you'd have killed him.
Yeah, because you can see the +1 and medevacs are about to pop out,
Yep.
and that's when Stim should finish as well.
Yeah, and you'd have definitely 100% killed him. Like, not a doubt, you'd have killed him.
God.
Okay, well, we'll carry on playing this game anyway. So, 3, 2, 1, play. And we'll just see what happens. So, yeah, +2 starts, sorry, +1 armor starts immediately, that's good. There's another little drop coming in from him. Again, like, you've got Marines and medevacs, you should be dropping, basically. I know it feels really uncomfortable to drop, but if you've got this many Marines and medevacs, then you should be dropping, because the power of the Marine is mobility and DPS. So if you can drop them somewhere, that means that, you know, their DPS will just kill everything. So Stim starts. That's alright.
Yeah.
Your +1 armor's ahead of his. again, you're making all these strong early game units, but you're not doing anything with them. So eventually, like, even though you're like literally double his supply, you know, when you can easily win the game, because you're not being aggressive early game with early game units, that's why you're losing. Because eventually he'll out-tech you.
Yeah, I think it's this game.
Just making some more notes. So right now you have 70 Marines and a tank, and he has 3 tanks and 20 Marines. Basically, if you attack now, you probably win as well. There's basically, if you'd have attacked anywhere between 8 and probably 15 minutes, you'd have won this game.
This looks so easy.
It always looks easy when you can see everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So your +1's finished, your armory's coming down, it's fine, siege mode's done, stim's done. Again, like, you had another timing just as stim finished. You know, you had another timing just as your siege tank finishes. You know, there's so many little timings you've got. I also recommend just rallying your barracks to the same place as well, just so your Marines don't, like, go crazy all over the place. You want them in, like, one pile.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, usually I do that, but this game is so off.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, if something like drops throws you off, like, just forget about it. Like, just imagine he never dropped. Just play your normal game. So you've got a big ball of Marines here, loads of medevacs. As you go to attack with this kind of army, split it up. Like, for example, load 2 medevacs and go drop in his main as you push the front. It will really screw him up, like, seriously screw him up. He will not know where to go. Like, if he stays at the front, then he probably kills your army, but the 2 medevacs full of Marines, like, kill all his probe line. So if you're attacking with this sort of army, split it up rather than, you know, going in one massive ball. Because basically, if he's got Siege Tank Hellion right now, you lose his army for nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think that's the case here.
So stim in. Oh, that's so horrible. Yeah, okay. Also, try to save your medevacs as much as possible. Because medevacs are expensive, Marines aren't. Okay. So right now you have like 8 Marines, like, and more on the way. Like, why are you retreating? He has nothing.
I have honestly no idea.
He doesn't have anything. Like, you could have probably just killed him, or at least done a lot of damage. Okay, so your tanks are coming out. Okay. Again, right now, I'd just be loading up drops. Just, like, dropping everywhere you can. Because you know he's got tanks, and you know he's passive. So just drop. It's as simple as that, basically. Like, if he's trying to, like, defend his natural, like, just drop his main.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have anything that is natural right now.
No. Also, behind attacks, I'd recommend, like, getting you know, an extra command center as you did, or like adding on barracks or tech or something. Just like basically using the attack to give you some breathing room. So
Yeah,
basically,
okay.
so
Sorry.
basically, if you're attacking him, he can't be attacking you really. So you know, use that time you've got to make, you know, 2 extra barracks, or you know, tech up to like, I don't know, Vikings or something like that. You know, just something in general. Like always use an attack to give yourself breathing room, rather than use the attack just to kill. That's irritating. Blocks your expansion on Marine.
Yeah, I think I... Okay, I didn't notice.
So again, like he's got this like free third base basically. Like there's absolutely no pressure on it at all. Let's see. Like your probe count's like way higher, but his income's higher because obviously you've got like SCVs not mining, and you've got like less bases and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Your upgrades are good though.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing this game. Because you can see I built my third, I cleaned up this marine, and I never landed it.
Oh dear. So basically you're on 1 base to like 2.5 bases at the moment. Which is never good. Okay, so you land the third.
Well, funny thing is that I have more of everything.
Yep.
SCVs, medevacs, tanks, marines.
Yeah.
And I never attack.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we can end this game now. That's cool.
Yeah, with pleasure.
Okay, basically I've wrote something down that will really, really help your TVT. Like a massive amount. Which is basically try to hit timings. You know, for example, +1 finishing, stim finishing, you know, medevacs coming out, even expanding you can use as a timing. Okay? So like, for example, like, if you want to, like, take a third base, like, push out for an attack, and then take your third. At the same time.
Okay.
It just really, it would just really, really help your kind of timing play, and because there was like basically the entire game, you are ahead in Marines, SCVs, upgrades. The only thing you're behind on is tech, and that's because he went for tanks, while you stuck with mass Marines. I mean, but there's just so many opportunities you could have killed in that game. Like there was literally like 10 opportunities to kill him. So I'm writing this all down, don't worry, if you're not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and there's one more on Cloud Kingdom, yeah?
Can I have the name?
The guy you're playing is called Citron.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Cool. Okay, we're just going to load this up, and I'm just going to take 2 minutes as I heard my phone ringing.
Alright.
So I'll be back in 2 minutes, mate.
No problem.
Cool. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Cool. So are you ready to start?
Sure.
Cool. Okay. So we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, TVT, Cloud Kingdom, you're blue. Cool. Um, I'm expecting to see like the same sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Not many builds that I know.
No, that's fine. I mean, you only need to really know one per matchup, and that's the one you should probably practice, and that will help you like improve a lot quicker. So if you just kind of stick to like one build per matchup for now, it will help you improve a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, that's good. So everything looks about good now. Cool, cool. So in general, TVT's kind of a bit like straightforward. If you know what I mean, like if he takes a third, you have to take a third. You know, if he denies your third, you have to deny his third. If he's getting upgrades, you have to get upgrades. It's just very like, it's probably the most mirrored of all mirrored matchups.
Yeah.
Like Protoss versus Protoss is a lot like rock paper scissors. If he goes Robotech and I go Stargate, it's kind of like build order win. You know, if he goes Blink and I go DTs, it's kind of build order win. Zerg versus Zerg is like who can get roaches quickest, who can get muteless quickest, who can get infestors quickest. But TVT is kind of like you know, holding him off, and hopefully like get a really good position with the same army he has. It's kind of like, it's really weird. It's probably the longest matches in history is TVT.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Do you not like playing long matches now? So he scouted gas. Should probably tell you he's going for like a factory, which he is, yeah. So you go for an early command center. That's good. I like that. As long as you keep your Marines like away from Hellions, Marines will win.
Yeah, well, there was this guy, he went pure mech. He had Thors,
Yeah,
Blue Flame Hellions, and Siege Tanks.
yeah.
There was nothing I could do about it.
I'm sure there's something you could do. We'll find
Yeah,
it.
well, I didn't see the solution.
Yeah, we'll find it. Don't worry. We'll find it.
I don't think it's this game, though.
Okay. So you go double gas. And get command center. Okay. What was the double gas for?
I think Combat Shield and Medivacs and Stim.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
+1.
Yeah, as long as you've got a goal for the gas, like it's not being like, as long as the gas is being used, that's absolutely fine. But if you're finding yourself like in 2 or 3 minutes time that you've got like 400 bank gas and nothing to do with it, that's bad. So just try to like keep that in mind that gas needs to be used. You can't really bank gas. Because gas could be minerals, and minerals are a lot more effective than gas if you're not using it, of course.
Yeah, gas is off this game because I'm supposed to put 2 SCVs in gas and I put 3. So
Okay. As I said, like floating like 400 or 500 gas is really bad. If you're just floating like 200 while you get a starport and then save up for medevacs, that's fine. Like right now, your minerals and gas is really really good.
alright, I'm going for a different build this time.
Okay, so Marine Marauder medevac.
I have no idea.
Marine Marauder tank medevac. Okay. Yeah,
I'm kind of experimenting still.
I mean that's okay to do, but just keep a solid game plan in mind. Like you could go for like the weirdest, wonkiest build ever, like Marine Marauder, Medevac, Tank, Banshee, Raven, or something like that. But as long as you've got a solid idea behind it, it can work. For example, like, if you decide to go Marine Marauder, Medevac, Banshee or something, you need to tell yourself, right, I need to push out at 11 minutes, and I need to have Stim +1 and, expanding behind it or something like that. And the idea will work. Some ideas obviously won't work, like, just for the sheer fact that it's, strange and weird or whatever. But most ideas can work as long as you've got, a solid plan behind it. So you're going Marine Marauder, Tank, Viking. It's a strange build.
Yeah. Didn't seem that strange when I was executing it. But
That's okay. So SCV transfers, okay. See, you're not doing anything to give yourself these timings. Like, for example, if I was looking at this build, you want siege mode done as well. That's really important. If I was looking at you doing this build, what I would tell myself is, right, I want to push out when my third tank is done and siege mode is done, okay? So stuff like that. Like, just give yourself these timings. Or I want to push out as soon as this medevac is finished. That kind of thing. Because right now, all you're doing is kind of like making units, but doing nothing with them. I mean, it's really similar to the last game. It may be a completely different composition, but it's really similar to the last game.
Yeah,
so
I'm
right
sure
now,
there are like so many mistakes that I do every game.
Yeah. Okay, so right now he's like, okay, you're going like Marine Marauder, Tank, whatever. It's like, I'm just going to go mech. That's what he's done. And, of course, you don't know what he's doing, do you? Okay, you scouted double factory. So you should...
like right when he was building his second.
Yeah.
So I was scared of the Hellions, and I lifted up my CC way later than I should have, I think.
Okay, can you hit pause a second?
Sure.
Okay. Right now, your siege mode is 40 seconds from completing, okay?
Yep.
It will take you about 40 seconds to get across this map, for example. So let's say you decide that, okay, I'm going to attack when siege mode is done, right?
Yep.
So you attack right about now, and you have 4 tanks, 2 Vikings, 5 Marauders, 9 Marines, okay?
Yep.
He has 1 tank without siege mode. He also has 11 Hellions and 10 Marines. You win again. Because he can't engage your tanks, and the Marauders will decimate Hellions, and your Marines will just clear up everything else. So basically, if you use this siege tank timing, again, like, this siege mode is horribly late, and it doesn't make, like, the timing doesn't make any sense in, like, for example, you need early siege for blah, 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 blah. Like, that timing is completely irrelevant. But if you use that timing, you can be really effective with it. So again, just use these little timings that, the game is giving you, because it's just a natural kind of thing. Like, if this siege mode finishes, and you attack just as it does, that means you siege outside of his base with, like, you've got 2 medevacs on the way, you've got 2 Vikings, you've got 5 Marauders, and probably about 15 Marines outside of his base. And he has absolutely nothing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't sound disheartened, honestly. It's just one of those things you'll pick up. Like, but just kind of, whenever you do something, just think, can I take advantage of this? Like, as siege mode finishes, can I take advantage? Of course you can. If your siege mode is done and his isn't, that's a massive advantage. Even if his siege mode is done, you're still getting there on even ground rather than being behind. So it's just one of those little things, like, just use the timings the game gives you. Like,
okay.
It's just easy as that, basically. Okay, so you ready to carry on?
Yep.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, go. So using mules, Hellions have got good map control. There's nothing really you can do about that. You could like send 3 or 4 Marauders out if you really want to kind of take those watchtowers away from Hellions. But again, that's just completely up to you, really.
Alright.
So again, siege mode finishes, medevacs come out. I mean, right now your army's looking pretty scary.
Yeah, I can never tell.
Mm. Again, like, you don't need to know you can beat him. You just need to know you have some sort of advantage. And like, with like, for example, for a basic example, like a stim timing, you know that your stim is going to be finished and his isn't. Yeah, that's as basic as it gets. Or like a +1 timing, you know that your +1 is done and his isn't. A siege timing, your siege is done, his isn't. It's as basic as that. Like, you don't need to know, but you just need to know that you've got an upgrade, basically. I mean, right now you have 6 tanks, siege mode done, medevacs, marines, marauders. He has 3 tanks, a bunch of Hellions, and that's about it. So expanding, that's good. Again, like, I'd use this expansion as an excuse to attack. Okay, so like basically what you're saying is, I want to, be at his front door as I'm expanding.
Alright.
Okay. Also, just as a little thing, I'd never leave siege tanks unsieged. Just siege them up.
Probably stupid thing to do.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just make sure they're always kind of sieged if you can. So again, he's like swinging around to your third. So his army's coming round. Again, like, if you have siege tanks like sieged up ready, that means he can't get close. That's really annoying.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
And
But again, he's
what I
having
do
to like...
here now is going to hurt.
Yeah. Again, if you're going to attack into this, like, there you go, like, scan. Yeah, brilliant. That's exactly what you need to do. Again, trading marines and marauders for tanks is absolutely fine. Like, that was a really, really clever move, that was. Like, basically, you scan, you seize, unsiege, and you bolt in. That's a really, really good move.
Can we go back for a second?
Sure.
Like, to the point where he sieged below my base?
Yep.
Okay, let me check where it was.
It's about 14 minutes, I think.
It's 1440, let's say.
Yeah, okay. 1 second while I get there. Okay, 1440.
Alright, so I have a question here.
Sure.
How can I engage this? Like, besides drops, say he has more marines, and my drops doesn't really do a thing.
Okay.
Do I run my marines, like, straight into those tanks, or
No.
try to attack from the high ground?
No. You never run marines straight into tanks. Right, basically, you have, like, kind of... I'm going to say 3 options here, okay?
Okay.
1, you do exactly what you did, is the way I'd recommend. Like, you just wait until he unsieges, and then you just go kill him. 2, you can, like, position, like, 2 tanks on the high ground, because he's going to have to use scans.
Yep.
Okay, so if he uses a scan, that means he doesn't have a mule. Okay, that's always good. Or 3, you could literally, like, send all your marines and marauders round the back, so kind of round here, towards the middle of the map, and then send, like, all your tanks plus a few marines into his tank line. But that's probably the worst way to do it. So basically, the best thing you can do is exactly what you did. and that's wait for him to unsiege and just stim in. If that isn't an option, then abusing the high ground is. But, you know, he's going to be wasting scans. And if he's got a lot of scans banked up, it's probably going to come out worse for him. But again, you'll lose some units in the process. But what I do is just keep an eye on his army and wait for him to unsiege and just go kill him like you did.
All right.
Okay? So we'll hit play again in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, like, this literally couldn't be more perfect. Like, you scan,
That's
you see his army moving, so you just stim in and kill it.
Well, usually I'm the Red Terran. Like, I do what he did. I unsiege, run away, and then get caught out of position.
Yeah. That's cool, so, yeah. Cool. Alright, pause it just for a second.
Yep.
So, right now, you've just killed his entire army, yeah?
Yep.
You've got a third base coming down. Check the units tab.
Okay.
He has 3 tanks, 5 marines, yeah?
Yeah.
You have 8 tanks, 22 marines, and a marauder. Okay? If you've just killed his entire army, just go fucking kill him. As basic as that. Like, that's all you need to know. If you just cleaned up his entire army, you can produce just as fast as he can. Yeah?
Yep.
You lost nothing in that engagement, basically. You lost, like, a few marines. That's about it. So just go fucking kill him. Easy as that. Okay?
Alright.
Alright, we'll unpause in 3, 2, 1, go! So yeah, basically he's in panic mode now, and he's going to go, like, super defensive. Or what is what I'd do, but I'm not sure if he's going to.
Yeah, I can't really remember this game.
So basically, if you kill an entire army, you kind of have, like, 2 options. You can either, like, tech up. Oh, sorry, you have quite a few options. You can tech up, you can expand, or you can get more production. Okay?
Okay.
Or you can just go fucking kill him. So you're moving out with a massive army. You spot he's sieged. You can actually abuse the high ground quite well here. If you, like, siege up closer to this cliff, and then just, like, rain down shells and force him back, basically.
I think that despite this failed attack that he did, I still lost this game.
It's okay. Another thing as well, if you scout him going, like, heavy tank kind of mech play, and you've got marines and medevacs, just drop. Just drop everywhere. There you go, so you're picking up a bunch of marines. Oh, you're going to drop on his army, are you? Oh no, you're just going to drop. Okay, that's fine. See, that's the kind of thing you want to do. But probably not this many marines. Because it leaves your, like, main army, like, really vulnerable from, like, banshees or anything like that. Okay, so you get a few tanks out of this. Wasn't really worth the trade, to be honest. And then your main army gets melted by siege tanks. Okay.
Oh god.
Oh my god, that's bad. What are you doing? Sorry, that's my phone going again. Oh, Jesus.
I kind of lose the control, and
Yeah.
I'm the one who panics here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you, like, slip up your micro versus tanks, you're probably going to lose the game. Tanks are fucking awful for, like, pointing out, like, massive mistakes. Oh dear. Okay. I like your positioning on the tanks. Like, the reason this position's so good is because you deny his third, he can't flank you, he's only got, like, 1 path, basically. So the positioning on these tanks are like really good. But he just has like so much more stuff than you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this game, like, I think all your TVTs in general, you're playing far too passive. So you're just kind of sitting around in your base while he makes a bigger army than you. Like, you get such a massive advantage early game and kind of like mid game, and then you just kind of lose the entire advantage because you're not doing anything with that early game lead. What I'd 100% recommend for you to do from now on is just use timings, and you'll see that your games are like going a lot more in your favor. Like, the timings don't have to kill him. They just have to do enough damage to make them worthwhile. Like, for example, if you go for a stim timing and you kill like 15 probes, but you lose like, 10 marines or something like that, then, who gives a shit? It's marines. Probes are far more valuable than marines. Another example, if you go for a siege tank timing and you kill half his army but lose like 3 siege tanks, again, that's fine, because you need to take advantage of the things you're giving yourself. Like, you're giving yourself this, you're giving yourself siege mode, so use it. You're giving yourself 30 early marines, so use them. You're giving yourself stim timings, upgrade timings. There's so many things you can just use to be aggressive. And I think if you just kind of look at that and really focus on that, your gameplay in general will be so much better. Like, you'll win a lot more games because, you're taking this advantage that you have and really, really abusing it. Like, if he doesn't have siege mode and you do, you win that fight 100%. If you have a +1 and he doesn't, your marines are so much more effective. If you have medevacs, that means your marines stay alive longer compared to his, or anything really. But if you use that in just any matchup, like, for example, you do it and you don't realize you're doing it. Like, for example, you follow a build, right? Say you're playing a ZVP, and you see this build that goes like 3 racks, marauder, concussive shells, and you attack just as those concussive shells finish. That's using a timing, but you don't realize you're doing it because it's just like, oh hey, I'm following a build. But when you're not following a build, you still need to abuse those timings. Easy as that.
Many games I do attack with the timings, but if a guy drops on me, like, I slip my macro completely.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, just because you're say, he does some crazy early game rush, okay?
Okay.
So let's just really look at it in depth. Say you're planning to attack at 10 minutes with 2 tanks and 20 marines and stim, okay?
All right.
And he does some crazy early attack that, like, it doesn't really kill much, but it delays you, okay?
Right.
So now you go, okay, I've missed that 10-minute window. What do I do? And you freeze up and you don't do anything. You kind of build an army and then hope you're going to win. Instead of doing that, just like get your siege mode started, get your stim started, and then just use that timing again. It doesn't matter if the timing, like, if he's messed with you early game, it's not a wall, it's a hurdle, okay? Think of it that way. Like, his early attack doesn't stop you doing what you want to do. It just makes you either jump over it or go around it. Easy as that, basically. So if you're planning to do this 10-minute timing attack with 2 siege tanks, siege mode, stim, and he attacks you, all of a sudden everything's like, say, 3 minutes late. That's fine. Okay. Just go attack at 13 minutes with 3 siege tanks, stim, siege mode, that sort of thing. Like, if your siege mode is delayed 2 minutes, just delay the attack 2 minutes, because at the end of the day, he's 2 minutes behind you as well because of his early attack. Do you understand?
Okay, I see.
Yeah? No?
I'm sorry?
I said, does that make sense? Or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, just use these timings you've got to like even if he drops you, like it doesn't matter. Just if he's invested, you know, that much into a drop and it kills some stuff, but you know, eventually you clear it up, you're probably still on even ground, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, so if you're 2 minutes behind, so's he probably. I mean, you've probably seen it where you've gone like a crazy game. Like, say usually like at 15 minutes you've got like, you know, you've got your big army ready. You've got 40 Marines, Stim, plus 2, you know, siege tanks. And then he's got the exact same as you at 15 minutes, yeah? And then say another crazy game happens where, you know, you're just like literally like trading Marines the entire game. And at 15 minutes you've got like 20 Marines and like 4 barracks and that's about it. You know, but he's got the exact same as you. Like, you don't need to think of it as like you're behind or ahead. You need to think about it as he behind or ahead.
Okay.
Okay? So, like, just I can't focus this enough. Just use these timings that you've got. You know, the game has given you these awesome, awesome timings. Like, as Siege Mode finishes, attack. As Stim finishes, attack. As Medevacs pop out, attack. You know? As you expand, attack. This game gives you so many opportunities to, you know, abuse the mechanics, basically. So, yeah, just if you can see a timing, hit it.
Okay.
And as you advance through the leagues, you kind of learn, like, I like to call them opposite timings. It makes sense in my head. I'm not sure if I can explain it, but here we go. Say I'm playing a TVT, right?
Right.
And I see I'm scouting him, and I see his tech lab suddenly light up on his factory. I know that siege mode is going to be done in, I can't remember the timing now, help me. Is it 150 seconds?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that means I've got 150 seconds to stop that timing, for example. Like, I know I've got 150 seconds where Marines are going to be, like, really effective, because you won't have siege mode. I've got 150 seconds to, you know, drop his tech lab, for example, you know, and take out that siege mode research. You know, that's really advanced, but it works in the same way. Like, for example, if you know he's going Stim, you know how long you've got until he has Stim. And you know how long you've got to prepare for that Stim timing or whatever. It's basically the same, but like reversed. But again, you don't need to worry about that, but that's just like something to think about if the occasion arises. Awesome. Okay, well, I've got some notes for you.
Okay, awesome.
And they'll probably really help you. But other than that, is there any like questions you'd like to ask before we kind of end this?
No, I don't think so. Like, basically, like the way I see it is I make so many units and I have so much advantage early on.
Yeah.
And then I gradually lose it as the game goes on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, basically, if you think about it from, say, like, a Zerg's point of view. So, I'm making a ton of Lings, right? And Lings are, like, really, really good. Until he gets tanks, until he gets Hellions, until he gets, you know, 4s or, you know, whatever. But if I carry on making Lings, they become less and less and less and less effective as the game goes on. And that's the exact same with Marines in like TVT. They become less and less effective as he gets tanks, as he gets Hellions, you know, that sort of thing. So basically what you've got to do is you've got to, if you're making a ton of Marines, use them when they're really effective. Or use them as Stim finishers. Use them as Medevacs finish. You know, you've got to really abuse those timings for kind of any sort of unit or any sort of situation. Like, you can even take it to the really late game. Say, like, you know, you want to attack with a full 200 mech army with battle cruisers. Then, you know, you use it as battle cruisers finish. You know, these timings don't have to be the first 15 minutes of the game. They can be the last 15 minutes of the game. They can be the last 30 seconds of a game. It's all about using the advantages you have rather than building a big army.
All right.
Okay. Anything else just before we finish?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, what we'll do is if you get I'll send you those notes over, and if you
Okay.
get a couple of games done either today or tomorrow, whenever you can, TVT or just anything in general where you use timings,
Right.
and then just send me the replays, and I'll have a quick look over them. We'll have a quick conversation just to make sure you're on track. Okay.
All right.
Brilliant. If you abuse these timings, I guarantee you'll be in platinum in a week. Guarantee it.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed today.
I did.
Awesome. All right, well, yeah, get those replays over to me in a couple of days,
Sure.
and I just want to see you abusing timings as much as possible.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
That's okay. I'll send you the notes over just basically as soon as I've done with the stream, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for anyone that's just tuning in. I'm literally about to go offline. But if you just hold on a second, I really need your help. Basically, if you follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Team Liquid, you can see the VODs on my YouTube, which is /SC button me up. I believe it's linked somewhere. I'll link it at one point. Anyway, the VODs will be up. You can check the VODs out on Twitch. You can message me for coaching. I do charge now, but it's fairly reasonable, and it's kind of a flexible price as well. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned something. So if you follow me here, follow me on Twitter, email me if you want coaching. My email's on the screen right now. It's scbutmeup@gmail.com. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back hopefully later. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Catch you later. Bye-bye.